What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and so this is what we're doing. Business as usual. Seriously? It's just business as usual for the WWE. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. Wait. It is business as usual. But for one man and one man in particular. Nick Khan. He has absolutely no relation to Tony Khan whatsoever. So, let's just begin the verbal evisceration, shall we? So, it was reported earlier today that Stephanie McMahon resigned as co-CEO of the WWE, leaving Nick Khan as sole CEO. It was also reported earlier that the shareholders are looking into filing a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and the WWE for the return of Vince McMahon to the board of directors. Now, why am I blaming Nick Khan for this? Well, a number of reasons. One, this is more than likely the strongest argument I have, and that is if the WWE was to sell, Nick Khan would get a pay raise. And if I remember Hardcore Wrestling 101's wording, yesterday he said that if the WWE was to sell, Nick Khan would get a pay raise that is more than a Dynamite taping. That's a lot of money for one man. There's an old saying that power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. There's also another saying, money talks, and you know the rest. So, let's take a look at Nick Khan, shall we? When Nick Khan was hired, and I was trying to figure out when exactly he did get hired, to my recollection, and I'm pretty sure Hardcore Wrestling 101 is going to is going to correct me, which, by the way, we are doing a video tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. On the same situation. So, Nick Khan got hired to the WWE. I want to say 2017, 2018. But what was the first thing that happened when Nick Khan arrived in the WWE? We had over 100 firings, and the reason that was given was budget cuts. Seriously? So, why would... First off, that the clause of the clause of I get a massive pay raise if the company sells is just a stupid clause to have in any contract. So, Nick Khan fired over 100 people. Mike Chioda was one of them. I want to say Finlay was one of them. There was a lot. Okay. There have been numerous firings from at the request of Nick Khan, and all of his firings have come to fruition. Now, out of all, now there's been there's been selling rumors ever since Vince McMahon came back to the board of directors, and out of every single person or media conglomerate that was bidding on the WWE, you had stations like NBC, Warner Media, and who does the WWE get sold to again? At first it was just speculation, but now there's reputable online wrestling, well, online news sites that are getting a hold of this. They get sold to Saudi. They get sold to Saudi Arabia. What? Saudi Arabia. Okay. We immediately have some issues. Let's start with the obvious. The women's division. How does Saudi Arabia treat their women? Now, no disrespect to Saudi Arabians, but your country looks at women the same way we over here used to look at our women, and that was just cook, clean, be a good wife, and pump out babies. Now, that's the way that Saudi Arabia looks at their women. So, what does that mean for the women's division that the WWE has made a considerable amount of effort into promoting and building over years? Well, if I had to make a guess, I would say that we're probably not going to have a women's division, which means the titles will be deactivated, or who knows? Maybe Saudi Arabia is looking at the women and being like, we have got to get out of our third world state mind. So I'm hoping that they do keep the women's division around. It's with this sale that it's also being told that the WWE is going back to a private company, which means that it with the WWE going public, that gets the shareholders off of Vince's back. Although with everything that's been said about Vince McMahon recently, like 2 to 3 weeks ago now, why did he come back? Why did the board let him come back? One question, I think I have the answer to it. It's because Vince owns 55% of the company, which means Vince, like it or love it or hate it, he can do whatever the heck he wants because he owns the majority of the company. That's just the way the world turns. So, what does all this mean? Well, I really hope that Triple H does stay in control of creative, at least. And I hope Vince McMahon retires. Again, the guy is 77 years old. He's not in the best of health. Would you look at that? He's not in the best of health. And he's 77 years old and he still thinks he can run a company. Hey, look, Vinny. More power to you, but at this point, you just need to be taken behind a barn and shot. Be put down like old Yella. I don't like this whatsoever. Now, the second reason why I don't like this. How does this benefit the WWE? I don't think it does. The only WWE executive, the only WWE employee that this benefits is Nick Khan. And unfortunately, Nick Khan, I really hope you're happy with yourself. Because while you get that massive pay raise and you're smoking your cigar and you're drinking that glass of wine and you're smiling on the stack of money, on the buku of money that you just made off of the WWE sale, I want you to remember one thing. Actually, more than one thing. The WWE was built out of Capital Wrestling. Capital Wrestling was a wrestling territory. It was part of the NWA until every single territory decided to leave the NWA. Then Vince's father sold it to Vince McMahon in the 80s. Well, wait. I'm skipping a step. My bad. It was Capital Wrestling. Then it was the World Wrestling. Then it was the WWF, which was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Then it became the WWF, World Wrestling Federation, that was forcefully switched over to World Wrestling Federation Entertainment, then World Wrestling Entertainment, and that was because of the World Wildlife Fund. I think that was stupid. Nick Khan, you've screwed over a lot of people. I guess it wouldn't be the first time. And I imagine that you have made a lot of wrestling fans really unhappy with your decision. So while you're getting rich, who knows? All that money could come piling down. Word to the wise. Money doesn't always talk. But the fans talk. And you don't listen because all you see is green. But when that money loses its value, and believe me, it will. You're going to be wishing that you never sold it to begin with. I'm Hardcore Christopher. If you would like to become a part of our community, hit the subscribe button down below and make sure you ring the bell and click all for every time I upload a video. If you don't, it's okay, I still respect you. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that you chose to spend a little bit of your time here with me. Keep it hardcore, everyone.